Greetings once again, my friends, and welcome back to another Blizzcon vlog. So, technically this is a different day, but I looked at the content that I created for you guys, and it's pretty somber. Even though I think the opening ceremony is pretty positive, at least until the end, then I gave you some somber stuff with Diablo 3 and with StarCraft 2. So, before you guys immediately start writing to me and telling me, oh my gosh, he saw nothing but negative, that's not the case, and I actually wanted to showcase that off with the last vlog that we have for today. My thoughts on Heroes of the Storm, which was actually some of the first panels I wanted to get my hands on because of the announcements for Hanzo and Alexstrasza, as well as the possibility that we might be getting some story in Heroes of the Storm, like something's happening in the Nexus. Spoiler alert. That didn't get addressed. So I'm a little disappointed by that. But let's actually go ahead and go into my opinion on Heroes of the Storm. So most of the panel stuff, at least when we went into the deep dives, when we went into the new announcements or what's next, it was mainly based around Alexstrasza and Hanzo. And also the fact that, Heroes 2.0 launched this year. We had a bunch of new heroes, including Kel'Thuzad. And it's one of those things that having a schedule like mine really sucks because I want to go in. Kel'Thuzad was one of my favorite hero classes in Warcraft 3. I have not been able to play him yet. So I wanted to play as Kel'Thuzad. You guys announced Genji. I've been Genji, I wanted to go to Hanamura and see or Volskaya Foundry, be able to see some of the new Overwatch themed maps. Oh man, how many Overwatch heroes have actually hit since Heroes 2.0. I mean, obviously Hanzo's coming. We had, so I think the last time I reported on anything, there was Tracer and there was Zarya. That was it. Now we have Junkrat. Genji is in there. I'm trying to think, is Roadhog in there? I don't think he is. And obviously if I'm missing some in there, I mean, there's a bunch of new heroes to be able to go and play. A lot of them look very, very interesting to me. And then we had the addition of Hanzo and Alexstrasza. So we're actually going to go into kind of like with the Chromie announcement and the MartAnimE announcement. We're going to go into some of the side characters. That's amazing to me. I guess the first thing that I should take care of is the elephant in the room. Because of all of the awesome stuff we've been getting throughout this year, no new Battleground announcement. I didn't even know about Volskaya Foundry. I knew about Hanamura, but I didn't know about Volskaya Foundry. And I can't wait to get on that map if I could only find the time. So basically 80% of this was based around the two new heroes. And I'll go ahead and just start off with Alexstrasza because I think she's got a little less to go over as far as I'm concerned. She's going to be a healer and support character. So I find this funny. Last year we had I think it was Varian and Ragnaros was last year. So Ragnaros was like this big damage guy, but he also could you could realize the raid boss dream and be able to have him take over a building or whatever. Alexstrasza, I think, is kind of built in that regard, but she's more towards the healer. And then we also have like the multi-tiered Varian who could be all specs of the warrior class. Again, I wish I had the time to go play that. Alexstrasza is an interesting healer, and actually I found it funny that most of the healer characters that got announced for BlizzCon this year are kind of based in the same aspect, pardon the pun. The best way I know how to describe her is she plays like the Green Drake in Oculus. And I already know that a bunch of Warcraft fans immediately turned this video off. Hold on, hear me out. She literally has what looks like a very big health pool, and her basic healing ability to her allies is to take some of her health and give it to you. And then in turn, she has her own abilities that, like a big heal on the ground that she can get some of that health back. She also has Flame Buffet, which is just basically a dot that can pierce and go through heroes in a line. I'm not sure if she gets health from that. I tried to listen on that one, and I don't think I heard that. But the heal on the ground is also a very big thing, so she's probably going to be like one of those guarding the base types so that she can get the health spring, as well as be able to possibly use that heal on the ground for not only herself, but her allies. But the cool part also is that she's basically a two-tiered kind of hero. much like Gen, she has an alternate form. She has her dragon form, and her dragon form basically increases the amount of health she can give you. It increases her health pool. It increases the overall range of the heal on the ground that she can create. Her Flame Buffet then becomes Wing Buffet, which is not only a dot that can go in there, but it's also a knockback because she's using her wings. And then also her Ancient, or her Ultimate, is basically where she can fly overhead and be able to bomb the ground roughly in this immediate area to either damage enemies or heal allies, which very much feels like Alexstrasza in the Warcraft universe. You know, she has this cleansing, healing flame, so at that point it burns her enemies and it strengthens her allies. I like the idea of that. I also like the dragon model. It looks really, really good, and I'm hoping that that's not the only one we're gonna see. Like, I think Chromie opened the door, and I think Chromie does have a dragon form in that. So Chromie kind of opened the door, and now we have Alexstrasza. I don't want this to end. I want Ysera. I want either Malygos or Kalecgos. Either one. Bring in Deathwing. I don't care. You can also give me Nozdormu. I don't see a reason why not, aside from having to pay Martin Sheen to do more voiceover work for him. But that's not bad. Well, it is when you consider how high a price Martin Sheen is. But I don't want it to stop there, and I really do love the aesthetic for Alexstrasza. She looks like she fits into the Heroes universe. Especially that whole Dragonshire story trailer. That really worked for Alexstrasza. I'm actually going to say not so much for Hanzo. I think it was more built towards her. Hanzo. I'll admit, I don't necessarily main Hanzo. I did get some footage for him when I did the Overwatch review, but I find him to be not... He's a little harder, in my opinion, as a character. I think they've done some changes to him since then, but I didn't like the fact that when you knocked an arrow, you had to basically kind of hold it back to continuously apply pressure to it. You could have the scatter shots, and you also had to be very strategic. I actually think, like, Widowmaker, you could just place her in one place, and as long as she's not found, she's fine. Hanzo isn't necessarily that, because a lot of his abilities are, you know, he needs to be in the thick of it, at least, you know, the way I look at it. But this Hanzo is going to be a very interesting addition as an assassin to Heroes, because a lot of people were expecting, and even the developers said, like, they were expecting kind of a sniper-esque character out of Hanzo, and he's not. They basically made him a mid to long range assassin, and in fact, a lot of the tuning and buffing that went around him was like, you have to be able to use his basic attack to be able to do a lot of damage. You have to be able to be within a certain amount of range for the scatter shot to work, and scatter shot is making its way into Heroes, and it's glorious. I actually might start messing around with Hanzo and Heroes, just because I can see major destruction and devastation being dealt from him. But on top of that, all of his other abilities are even more devastating if you can utilize them properly. He does have Stormbow, which I guess it's been a while, so it mirrors similar to how one of Chromie's attacks works. So the longer you hold it, the way that I know how to look at it is it's the beam from Gazlowe. So at that point, the longer you hold it down, the further range it goes, the more power it has to it. And I believe the Stormbow arrow can pierce and go through to other heroes. I'm not sure on that one. And then finally, they were able to do what I was hoping would happen. I think Genji has it too. Dragon Strike is in there, and it is powerful, and it looks glorious on a Heroes of the Storm map. I'm very much looking forward to being able to get my hands on both of the brothers, Genji and Hanzo. I think they're going to both be great assassin additions to the Heroes roster, although I'm going to double check Genji. He might be since he's more melee based, I'm more worried he's going to be like a tanky character. Now, he needs to be a melee assassin. That's the way it has to work. But overall, I am not disappointed. There's been so much work done for Heroes of the Storm that I can't wait as soon as I get some free time to go back in there, start checking out Heroes 2.0, checking out the new heroes that have dropped since I've been able to play, maybe even being able to record some footage again and be able to do some Heroes stuff with you guys. That would be awesome. But that's pretty much going to go ahead and do it for this video, because aside from Alexstrasza and Hanzo, we really didn't get too much aside from stuff you already knew. So thank you guys so much for watching. Again, I'm very excited to be able to get my hands on this when I'm actually able to do so. And the next time that we meet up, I actually do have a special request made by one of you guys on an additional panel that was done for BlizzCon 2017. So we'll see you then.